Hey guys, and welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and today I am back with another interview and I'm here with Lewis Wood. How are you, lad?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am great, thank you. I very much appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no worries. Don't worry about it.
Great, so if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So just to make sure all my facts are right, you're a 4-0 fighter that's 28 years old and is super featherweight, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Great, okay, and we'll start off with the question which I always like to start off with, and that is, who inspired you to get into boxing?
To be honest, no one really. I mean, I inspired myself to get into it. But say like past fighters, I used to love Mike Tyson.
Yes,
growing up, and like some of the Mexican fighters like Barrera and Morales, and even Ricky Hatton. Because like when I was growing up as a kid, Ricky Hatton was massive in Manchester. So yeah, they're the ones who like I liked, sort of thing.
So does that mean that you might be tuning into the Barrera Ricky Hatton exhibition fight if that does happen?
Definitely, definitely, yeah.
That'd be a great fight. So we'll move back onto you. So you kind of said that you kind of inspired yourself to get into boxing. So why did you choose to get into boxing?
It was just something to do really, and just to get me off the streets and just plough my energy into something really, yeah.
Great. It seems like that's a similar kind of story to a few people where they just want to focus on something that's not like something that's going to get them in trouble, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you went on to have your amateur career like everybody else does. Do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
My very first yeah, my first two amateur fights actually lost.
Oh,
my first two, and then I went on a bit of a winning streak. So yeah, that's what happened in my first two.
Yeah, was it a bit different? How old were you roundabouts?
So I didn't have my first amateur fight. I think I was 19.
Oh right, okay. So
I think I had my first amateur fight when I was 19. Yeah.
So relatively late, really start.
Late, yeah. But I mean, I'd always done little bits of. But even though I didn't have my first fight till I was 19, I'd always done little bits. Of boxing and stuff, because my older brother used to box as well, so I used to like go to the gym with him a bit, when I was younger.
So then obviously you went on to have your amateur fights. How many amateur fights or roundabouts do you have, if you can give a number?
28, I think. 28.
That's fair. With the fact of you starting a bit late in your amateur career, it's fair that you didn't have a crazy amount, really.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I only had 28, but I don't think it really matters, to be honest.
No, not really. So you then obviously decided to go pro. Why did you decide to go pro when you did?
So why did I decide? So what it was like, one of my amateur coaches, Lee Whitehead, he I think it was in lockdown. Obviously we'd not done no boxing because all the gyms were shut. And he rang me up and said, I'm going to get some sparring organised and all that. So I started doing a bit of sparring with other gyms and stuff, sparred a few pros. And then in the new year, he rang me and said, I think you should turn professional. I think you'll do good in the pro ranks, and the clock's ticking. So I think you should turn pro now. And that was it, really, yeah.
Great. So obviously then
now I'm here and I'm going full on at it.
Yes, and then obviously you did turn pro. Is there any like clear differences that you could say between the amateur and the pro fighting?
Yeah, well, it's slowed down for one. Because in the amateurs it's 100 mile an hour, whereas in the pro game, even though it can still be fast paced, you've got more time and you can pick your shots and stuff. Other than that, like the training. The training's a lot more intense. You're training longer, probably training like twice a day some days.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great. So obviously you then went on to have your first pro fight. How tough was your first pro fight?
How tough? It wasn't that tough really, to be honest. I mean, I won quite comfortably. But obviously it's the occasion sort of thing. It's your professional debut. Probably not boxed for say 18 months.
Oh wow.
Leading up to that. So yeah, it's one of them, like, you get a little bit nervous, but once you're in the ring, all that goes out the window.
And then obviously you went on to have your 3 other fights. I was kind of wondering, in your personal opinion, what was your best performance you've had in one of them fights? Which fight was it, and how did it end up?
Um, See, my last fight, I thought it's hard to say really what's my best performance,
Hmm.
because I'm pretty critical of myself, so I'll always watch me fight back and think, you know, could have done this, could have done that better, or
It's a
whatever.
good thing to do that.
Yeah. So what's my best performance? I'm not too sure. I mean, I thought my last one was quite good, and then the one before that as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And my debut was up for like a debut fight. It was pretty good, to be fair. So yeah.
they all obviously ended up in wins, so you're obviously doing something right there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and then so you then for this fight coming up, which I'll talk a bit more about in a minute, you're with Black Flash
Yeah.
Promotions. What is it like working with them?
Yeah, it's good. It's great because like obviously Pat, he's my trainer, he's my coach, me promoter, manager. So it's everything under one roof.
Great, and so then, like I said, you've got that fight coming up. So have you started a camp, or is it just kind of upping the intensity for that fight now?
So we've not really. I'm not really. Well, I'm training hard, like I'm in a camp at the minute anyway. But I stay in shape, sort of thing. So I don't really need no dead long camp or anything. It's just about getting back in the gym, working on things you need to work on, get the sparring in, and good to go again.
Great. So obviously you'll probably have a few people watching this fight, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to have a reason to come and watch you. So I was kind of wondering, why should people come and watch you? What will make them different? What kind of different experience will they experience watching you?
Just feel like I'm an exciting fighter, and I'm always in a good fight, sort of thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's why they should come and watch me.
Great. Okay. So then after this fight, are you possibly trying to come out and fight again before the end of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think after this one in 8 weeks, maybe beginning of December, and then that'll be it probably this year, and then see what happens next year.
Okay, and so that kind of leads on to my next question, in the fact of how far do you think you can go in the sport?
Obviously, I'm gonna say all the way, because
Great.
you've got to be like that, aren't you? And I mean,
Course, yeah.
if I didn't think I could achieve anything in boxing, sort of thing, I wouldn't be wasting my time with it, to be honest. So yeah, like I say, I'm not really looking that far ahead. I'd love to win a British title. That's one of my main goals. I'd love to win a British belt outright, because I think it's one of the best belts, best looking belts out there as well. So yeah, but yeah, when you say where do I think I can go all the way.
Yeah.
Just got to be patient and take your time, and just keep getting better. I suppose I'm only relatively new to the pro game, so I've only had 4 fights in the space of a year, really.
But I mean, obviously,
so, yeah, I'm still learning.
Yeah, you're 28, so you're about to be kind of heading into your prime years. So I'm sure it won't be too long until we do see you fighting for them belts.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, okay. Well, I very much appreciate you doing this interview. I'm going to leave it with this last question, which I always like to ask, and that is, you've got a little bit of a platform here. Is there anything that you'd like to shout out?
In what way? Do you mean like sponsors and stuff, or?
Well, sponsors or your family or anything really.
No, just shout out to Pat, for all the hard work he puts in with me and all the other lads in the gym, and also like the promotions, they're getting us all out, keeping us busy. And yeah, so shout out to Pat.
Great.
And
okay.
Black Flash Promotions.
Yes. All right. Big up, Pat.
And oh yeah, and just another one. All the everyone who comes to watch, really, all my fans. I've got some loyal ones who've been to every single fight. Some who've even been to most of the amateur fights and stuff. So yeah, just massive thank you to them as well.
Yeah, the fans are one of the most important things, and I mean, British fans for boxing are amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, with no fans, there's no fights, is there?
No fights. But yeah, thank you very much for doing this interview, lad.
No worries, pal. Take care.
You too, mate. And I'm sure, give it a few years, you'll be fighting for them belts, and then maybe we can do a return interview, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, mate.
Alright, great. If you're on new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and thanks for watching.